Hello, Vudani here, and today I'm going to give you a PvP overview of the Engineer class in Guild Wars 2. The first thing you'll notice when playing an Engineer is that it actually only has one main weapon at a time. It can either use dual pistols, a pistol and a shield, or a rifle. Your other weapons come in the form of kits. There are weapon kits, backpack kits, and turrets for damage, utility, and defense. Not only do you have these unique kits, but you also have what is called a tool belt. These are skills that will occupy your F1 through F4 slots, and they correspond to what you actually put in your slot skills. With all these interesting skills, you probably would imagine the Engineer to be a very solid support class, which they are. They are, in my opinion, one of the best support classes in the game. They have multiple peels through knockdowns and stuns, as well as knockbacks. They also have unique elixirs for buffing yourself as well as allies. These support skills go hand in hand with one of the Engineer's greatest strengths, the ability to defend and control points. Having so many knockdowns and options for peels make Engineers a very viable point player for tournament play. Not only can you build them to be very difficult to kill, you can also give them abilities for stomping and reviving players. Another aspect that makes the Engineer a very good point player is the fact that they are incredibly mobile. They have multiple movement skills, kiting skills, all kinds of chills and cripples. The Engineer is a pretty slippery beast, and it makes them very difficult to kill in a 1v1 situation. All this talk about support, and you probably think the Engineer can't put out much damage. However, that is not the case. By using the tool belt and proper slot skills, you can actually create some of the best burst in the game. While it might not be the top burst, it is definitely enough burst to kill someone in a matter of seconds. At this point, the Engineer probably sounds like the ultimate PvP class, and while it is a very strong class, there are some flaws. The first flaw I see is there are a couple weak toolkits. While there are uses for almost all of the toolkits, oftentimes they are very niche uses. For instance, using grenades from 1500 range sounds like a very good idea, but the travel time on them makes them very difficult to use in situations other than world vs. world. Some of the weak toolkits are made more noticeable because you only have actually two main weapons available. Generally, your build will focus on using the rifle or the pistol as your main source of damage. This is not to say they are bad weapons because both are actually very strong. It just becomes sort of dull after a while. Another unfortunate aspect of the Engineer is there is no true melee build. While it's not necessarily a weakness, it's more of a preference thing. There are skills that are stronger in melee and kits that are used in melee, but it's just not practical to create a build around them. Overall, I rate the effectiveness of the Engineer a 4.5 out of 5 for PvP play. The overall balance of the class makes them very effective for hot join matches. The plethora of self-sustaining builds makes them very good in almost any situation. I find the Engineer to be one of the best tournament classes in the game. While you may not want all Engineers, there's certainly room for one or two. With the amount of hard CC they have, Engineers are incredible for supporting and defending points. The Engineer's weakest of the three formats would have to be World vs. World. They just don't pack the punch they do in the smaller formats. There's certainly useful builds for World vs. World, it's just a lot harder to pull off with so many people around. As always, I hope this video was helpful. If you're looking to see Engineer gameplay, I'll link them on screen now. If you're interested in more overviews as well as theorycraft, builds, and gameplay, feel free to subscribe. And thanks for watching.